again, good afternoon. Thank you for joining today's webinar. So to kickstart, we have two wonderful speakers for today's session. The first speaker is Mr. Rudy Setiawan, CIO from Wowrack, Indonesia. And the second speaker is Mr. Piyush Mato, our Senior Sales Engineer from Fenacor. So before we start, I would like to inform that this is a recorded session and we will be sharing the recording with all the attendees. So throughout the session, you can ask questions using the Q&A box on the right panel. We will have a Q&A session at the end of our webinar as well. So without further delay, I would like to invite Mr. Rudy, the first speaker of the day. So let me provide Mr. Rudy, the presenters, right?
Okay, yep. Got it. Thank you, Serene.
All right, please take it away.
Yep. Right. All right. Thank you. Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining today with me during this webinar. Yep. A little bit background about myself first. My name is Rudy, and I'm from Indonesia. Currently, the CEO of Wowrack Indonesia. So Wowrack is established in 2001 in Seattle, Washington, and we have our presence back in Asia Pacific back in 2009. So it's an honor to be able to share a few things that I have experienced, especially during this pandemic, right? So I would like to more share about digital transformation during pandemic. Before the pandemic, we heard about industrial revolution. So we go back a history lesson a little bit, right? So we have an industrial revolution 4.0, maybe 10, 12 years ago, started, and there was a digitalization disruptions where everyone goes from a paper-based to, emails or using their computer, go digital. So there was a disruption, really. Everyone's trying to go to digital all over the world. And not only that, more and more people are using computer and go online digital. They need to be able to collaborate, right? Using, things like project management, software, applications on the internet, and maybe they can use a lot of things like email and file sharing and such like that. Those are collaborations that happen. And with many data that are being uploaded to the cloud or are being saved into a computer or a server, the need of automation in cultivating and analyzing digital data becomes a trend also during this 4.0, right? And many are trying to to analyze the tons of data that comes in. They are being saved on the cloud or in the storage, and they need to automate that pretty much. And with those many things that go digital, go online, go to the cloud, companies like us need to be able to take care of customers. So the customer face from an offline, they become more a digital type customer, right? For example, like in Indonesia, Tokopedia, Gojek has created so many digital customers that everyone else that are selling products or doing business that are used to be offline now has to serve customers digitally, right? And this IR 4.0 has really transformed the way that we work, the way that we do shopping, right? And it's a matter of how we want to transform this, how fast we want to do it, right? And then comes the pandemic, pandemic 1.0, right? And there is a digitalization advancements. Now there was a transformation, and now there is an advancement. So meaning that everyone needs to be advanced faster to go digital, right? The pandemic forces us to work from home. Hence, there's a terminology called hybrid workers that is trending, right? Some people may need to be able in the office, or especially in Indonesia, some employees may go back to their hometown and still can work now because they are forced to work from home, right? To work remotely. And with many hybrid workers, then platforms such as e-meeting or e-conference started to show up. For example, like WebEx or Zoom and other platforms that force us to do that. And education started to has to evolve. I remember that my kids used to go to school and they have like 2 weeks holiday because the school needs to adjust online school because they don't know how to they don't have that forecasting on how the school is going to be, right? So and now everyone and every students are going online to study. So all of these needed what we call the cloud, right? And the pandemic 1.0 I would say more of drives more companies and education, governments to put everything into the cloud. Why? Because cloud are scalable resources, more and more remote workers and remote students and more customers are doing online shopping, and hence they intend to bring company like us needs to be able to deliver that. And not many companies have the luxury to have application or their data into the cloud, especially when they worry about the cost. So hence, moving to the cloud during pandemic forces us to do that because there is a cost efficiency. Not just forces us, it's more of a making an assurance that, hey, when you go to the cloud, there's no upfront costs, and there's always a model that pay as you go, pay as you use model. And on top of that, I would like to share about from McKinsey & Company about during this COVID-19 crisis has accelerated the digitization of customer interaction by several years. If we look at Asia Pacific here, the adoption acceleration rate is almost double from 2019 to 2020. This is because of the crisis, right? And people are trying to stay alive basically during this crisis. Their business especially, hence they have to move faster, right? And this is in terms of implementing any organization that tries to implement changes to go to digital. I remember the past, maybe 6-7 years ago that we tried to let people or let our customer know that, hey, you need to go to digital, you need to go to the cloud, and the cost is this, but their adaptation rate or the response to implement some changes is not quick enough, or they may have some worriness about what happens if we go to the cloud, is my data safe or not, and those were their moment of worry that they cannot move to the cloud. And what happened during crisis is we can see that the use of technology in operations used to be 672 days for them to actually implement changes, but now it only took them less than a month to actually implement those changes. And migration assets to the cloud as well, that they are worried that their data could be breached or my data is not safe. And now they are forced to, in a way, quote unquote, forced to move their assets to the cloud, right? So that their workers or students can actually access those assets into the cloud. On top of that, now they are more aware of data security. So it used to be on premise, they may be having a bit of peace of mind because their server is in their office, right, or in their premises. And now they need to think how to secure their data, and by spending more on how to make sure everything is secure, especially in the cloud as well. And these are steps that from McKinsey & Company, which is I think that pandemic 1.0, or I should say, is the Industrial Revolution 4.1. The 0.1 is the pandemic era, right? And what we have done itself is that Wowrack, we are an infrastructure as a service company, an MSP as well. Back in 2012, we actually developed a platform, public cloud services called Cloud Raya. Back then, it was it was quite slow. Everyone still preferred the other public cloud, right? And it was they are okay with using outside Indonesia, and now what we have, Cloud Raya, is locally hosted in Indonesia. So when the government during the IR 4.0 started to say that, hey, all data pertaining to personal information or finance needs to be located in Indonesia, hence that's how our platforms grow from that. Then when the pandemic comes, we have to do something about it, because not many people may understand how to use Cloud Raya or how to utilize it and so on. So what have we done during the pandemic is, one, we actually simplify how they can use this platform. We actually simplify the asset migration from their on-premise to the cloud. And on top of that, with their assets in our cloud, we simplify how they can secure their data by having a cybersecurity protection applied into their VM or to their server, or even to their desktops now, or their laptops when their remote workers are now outside the office, right, working from home. And not only that, we also simplify how the data is being stored and how the data can be backed up easily within our platform. And of course, we have what we call a marketplace within our Cloud Raya. We currently have these application suites such as the Zimbra Collaboration Suite that actually help the customer to be able to use and use to cooperate with their workers, their employees, or even their students, or anyone basically, pretty much. And after simplify, we have to accelerate. So during pandemic, we gotta accelerate, right? Everyone needs to be on digital. So we help ISVs to deploy their software or their applications into Cloud Raya, so that they can start to take this opportunity to introduce, and so that the users can use their software as well without the worriness about infrastructure at all. And we also accelerate the way that we build our virtual machines and skills, and also the backups as well. So right now in Cloud Raya, we used to have maybe 3 to 4 minutes, and now we accelerate virtual machines to like less than 2 minutes. And now they can just use the VM for their own, applications and such, right? And not only that, more and more data are being uploaded to the cloud. So yes, we gotta accelerate the storage growth. We are talking about maybe we used based on 2018 to 2019, we only have an increase of about maybe 10 to 15% of storage growth. But when we hit pandemic from 2019 to 2019, now 2021, we hit like about 60% of storage growth in our Cloud Raya platform. So that's a big jump, pretty much. It's like almost 4 times it used to be. And of course, we're not just gonna stick to where we are. So we are still developing more technologies, more features into Cloud Raya. And with those technologies, we simplify those technologies so that everyone can use it without the need to understand too much of the details, as long as they know how to use it, right? Not only that, we also increase the resiliency of our infrastructures, making sure that our platform is redundant, reliable, robust, and uptime available to them 100%, right? So, well, that's what really we have done in Cloud Raya to help during this pandemic, so that the customers, or our users are able to collaborate one another easily and without, the need to think too hard on how to use it. This is just a screenshot on what we've done in Cloud Raya. So it only takes like 3 steps for our customers to create a VM, and to launch it. And, after that, they can use whatever they want to use. It's pretty simple, forward, and, you can visit our website and, register as well in there to get used to, to get the feel of how is our platform is. I want to share about case study about one of our customers, right, during pandemic here. The case study is about email migration to the cloud. The customers have about 310 mailboxes, and not so much of a space size, is less than 50 gigs. And currently, at that time, they were hosted in a traditional shared hosting environment, and there were some issues, spam, antivirus, and so on, and a lot of spam in and out, yeah. So spam from external and spam from internal to external, right? And also not only that, their challenges as well is that many of their employees now work from home, and they need a way to collaborate, right? They used, before the pandemic, they used to come to the office and knock on the door or go to a meeting room and talk, right? To discuss work. And now they need a way to better collaborate with everyone working remotely. And so how do we do it? So first of all, we have a discussion, of course, with them, the pro and cons on why we should go to the cloud. After we show them some demo on, especially in Zimbra, because I think Zimbra has a collaboration suite, everything all in one package. We show them how to, use it, demo it, and on the last day, or pretty much on the 5th day, after we've completed our demo, and we, the owner and the IT director, came to us and said that, hey, Wowrack, let's do it. So in that time, it took them less than 5 days to actually make a decision. So finally, what we've done is we deploy Zimbra clusters into Cloud Raya. Why we do that is because we want to promote the pay-as-you-go model for the customer and scale as they need it. So in this case, is that pay-as-you-go both licenses and also storage. So they can increase the number of licenses, decrease as well on storage, or increase on the storage as well. So after we have completed all of these, the migration time itself took less than 2 days. So all in all, for this customer, for them to actually transform even more into digital world, it took them less than 7 days, versus than maybe before pandemic, maybe it can take like 3 months, because they have to make decision, they have to do cost calculation, budgeting, and so on. And now they pretty much doesn't really care so much about those. All they care is that make sure that everyone in their company who is working remotely can collaborate with one another. So yeah, I mean, what's next? I mean, what's next is in this case is we gotta accelerate steadily. Yeah, I think that's the key to this during this pandemic, right? We gotta rethink how we collaborate, whether with our vendors, with our customers, or even with our employees, right? We have to think how we make sure that digital world, digital transformation can be accelerated, fast, steadily in this case, meaning that we don't stop. We can move faster, accelerate faster, or we can accelerate slower. As long as you accelerate, I think that's the key to this, right? And once we know that all of that, what we have is we gotta make commitment. So make commitment means that, okay, we gotta help our customers, or if you are an organization, then we gotta make sure our employee can collaborate during this pandemic, right? I know because right now it's still people are, if you started maybe 1.5 years ago, I still see companies are still doing more of the less collaborate method, the less digital collaboration method. And now we want them to be able to, hey, you can collaborate in real time with your employees anywhere. So we got to see that as part of, the company or the organization commitment to push this, to accelerate steadily towards this. To go through this pandemic. I believe that after the pandemic, we still have to maintain our momentum, right? To make sure that we are on top of the technologies. Technologies are not that expensive anymore. It can be catered to anyone. So this is why, the key takeaway for, how we think, how we collaborate is we got to think and accelerate steadily. So yeah, pretty much that's what I want to share today. Let's make a connections. You may go to our website, wowrack.co.id, or try our platform as well, cloudraya.com. If you're not in Indonesia, and if you want to see how Indonesia is, our network in here, feel free to register and sign up. And you gotta feel how, we have about 260 million population now. So yes, there's a lot of people are using internet over here. So yes, thank you once again so much.
Thank you, Mr. Rudy, for the wonderful insights on all the McKinsey data. All right, so let us bring on the second speaker, Mr. Piyush. So let me just pass the presenters right to Piyush.
Yeah, thank you, Serene. And
so quickly, if you have any questions for Pak Rudy, just key it in the Q&A box, and we will attend to them at the end of the webinar. So Piyush, take away, please.
Thank you, Serene, and welcome once again, everyone. So we would be talking about how do we really rethink the collaboration workspace in this era when we are working remotely in a hybrid workspace, right? So broadly, this is our agenda for the day. So we'll do a quick understanding of what's the very digital workspace or a hybrid workspace all about. We will talk about the challenges of the hybrid workspace, and we talk about how does Zimbra really helps you create the hybrid workspace environment, followed by a quick live demo, and then we will take up the Q&As that you type in the Q&A box. So, as per Gartner, by the end of the year 2021, there will be more than 32% of the employees that would be working remotely. As offices reopen, 51% of these would be working in a hybrid workspace, which means they would be going to the office maybe once or twice in a week. A hybrid workspace is one that includes a blend of on-site, which is office, or remote locations. Remote work is forcing our organizations to bring forward digital businesses, transformation plans. Organizations will need to rethink their workplaces, their work models, and also create a hybrid workspace to ensure that the users have access to data on any device, anywhere, anytime, and therefore increase the productivity of the users working in this environment. So while the organizations would be creating some of these, a hybrid workspace environment, there would be challenges. And the three key challenges that we foresee would be, creating an environment which is engaging enough, an environment that lets people collaborate, an environment that does not let people drop their productivity. It has to be agile, which means the users should have flexibility to have access to data. The data should not be stored in silos, and at the same time, it should be secure and easy to access for the end user. So, building a team collaboration software brings to an environment which creates a seamless workspace. Now, business challenge is one, which means in this world where people are working from office, home, cafes, or even poolside, the organizations have to create an environment where you can collaborate, you can engage, you can have people working from remote locations. How does Zimbra help you do that? Zimbra has capabilities of the Zimbra Docs that allows you to create office productivity suites. So if you want to create a Word document, presentations, share them internally or even externally, Zimbra has its capability. Zimbra Docs also allows you to do a real-time document collaboration of documents. Zimbra Chat is a capability where you can do a quick one-to-one or a one-to-many chat. You can even create for your one-to-one or one-to-many chat. Zimbra Audio Video is a capability that allows users to do video conferencing, either from the desktop client, the browser, or even from the web client itself. This allows your users to be accessing data or be able to collaborate with your other peers real time. A hybrid workspace means a user should be able to have access to data, but at the same time, the data should not be stored in silos. If that happens, there will be a knowledge loss. So to avoid that, the users have to be truly connected with each other. Zimbra allows you to do a freedom of choice. So we do not force our customers or users to use the native capabilities that are shipped. We allow the end users, the IT organizations, to choose the tools that they think are best fit for them. So if the customers see that Zoom or WebEx are better tools for video conferencing, Zimbra has a native integration to do that. If you have tools like Nextcloud, Dropbox to do file sharing, document sharing, we have integrations with that as well. Similarly is the case of Slack. So we have a native integration for Slack to do real-time collaboration for chat and Teams and Space. At the same time, we also do not force our users to use the native apps. Like we do have the native Zimbra desktop client or the Zimbra mobile app. But if the end user really likes to use the Microsoft Outlook client or the third-party mobile apps using Microsoft Accessing Protocol, we do support that, which means the users are free to choose the client of their choice. The users are free to use the apps of their choice, and at the same time, integrate them with Zimbra so that there are not many applications. They do not have to travel between multiple applications to do a collaboration amongst themselves. And the best part of all of this is it's all integrated into a single view of the Zimbra web client. We also have to ensure that while the users are accessing this data from remote locations, from different geographies, the data has to be secure for the organizations to keep their IT safe. So Zimbra allows you to secure your collaboration environment with some of the native capabilities that are available. We have two-factor authentication, which is built into the product. We support S9 for digital signing and encryption. Basic MDM capabilities of remote wipe or allowing only corporate approved devices to access the emails on the mobile devices, or even enabling legal compliance and archiving for users. None of these capabilities require third-party software or additional components or licenses to be deployed. All of these are a part of the core Zimbra product. So basically, we are allowing you to let your users collaborate, let your users choose the apps of their choice, but at the same time, making sure that your environment is safe and secure and still managed by the corporate IT. So Zimbra is today powering more than hundreds of millions of mailboxes worldwide. We are a leader in the open source world for the email collaboration software. Zimbra allows a user to deploy Zimbra in an environment of their choice. It can be deployed on-premise, on a public cloud, on a private cloud, or even from a service provider data center which is in country. So which means that we do respect the data sovereignty laws as well. We support customers in all segments, whether they are government customers, education, large or medium enterprises, or even telcos. Zimbra is just not an email software. It is a complete collaboration software that includes email, calendar, chat, video conferencing, etc. With all of these capabilities, Zimbra has been named a leader by some of the third-party, organizations like Radicat. I will switch over to the demo in a while you can keep keying in your questions in the Q&A box. Sirin, can you see my Zimbra website?
Yes, we can.
Thank you. Yeah. So this is a quick demo of the Zimbra 9 and its capabilities and the integrations that we have. So Zimbra 9, when a user logs in, this is how it looks like. On the settings gear, you can have change your language preferences. You can put your settings where you can define your capabilities of viewing emails. Your signatures can be defined here. Your out of office messages, your filters or rules. And as you scroll down, you can see all the integrations that are available here. So basically, if you have integrations with Zoom, Slack, or any other third-party tools, you need to just define the credentials right here. So for example, if I had to do an integration with OneDrive, I will just click here and click on Activate. Once I click on Activate, it will ask me to put in the credentials of my Microsoft account. Once that is done, I will be able to view my OneDrive account within the web client. I have, for example, done an integration with Google Drive and Dropbox. So how do I use this? So I go to my new message, and if I had to attach a file, say from my Dropbox, I click on the attach icon. Once I come here, I have got two options. One, I can send it as a link, or if I wanted to send it as a embedded file within the message body. So if I select the hyperlink option, this will open my Dropbox and give me a preview of my folder structure. So I can just select a file right here that I wanted to send and click on choose. This will just put a hyperlink in the message of the body. Similarly, if I had to send something as an embedded attachment, I go back to my Dropbox again, maybe I select the same file and I click on choose. This will go ahead and embed the file in the body of the message. So I have a choice to send a file as a link or as a attachment in the body. Similarly, I could have done it with Dropbox, with Google Drive, with OneDrive, or the Nextcloud interface as well. Now, if I have an integration done with Slack, so for example, if I have my colleague Ellen and Eugene on this demo, I can see Eugene as green, which means Eugene is logged in Slack while Ellen is not. So if I wanted to see the presence of my colleague, and if we are using Slack as an organization for corporate communications, I can just click on this and click on Slack. This will just open my Slack, either the web client or the Slack thick client, and I can start chatting with Eugene right here just by clicking on this icon. And I can also see the presence of users in the Slack interface. Now, if you do not have integrations or third-party tools, Zimbra, as I said, has its native capabilities to provide those. So if you see this icon right here, I can see my colleague Eugene and Ellen being online, right? So I can just start chatting with them. Right, so we can just start doing a quick chat with them. If I also had to do one-to-one chat with them, I could do that. If I had to do a quick one-to-one video call with any one of them, I could have just clicked on this icon. I will just click on this icon, and this will start a video call with Ellen. There you go. There she is. That's me, and that's Ellen. We are on mute on this session, but we can actually, if I unmute, there'll be an echo. So you just go back and close this. There. I can go back to the Slack or the Connect tab, and I can even do group meetings. So if I go to the spaces, I have the APAC sales group. I say hi both. We could actually do a group chat. I, being the administrator of this group, can manage the users in this group, right? And if I had to do a group video call, I could have done that as well, right? So in a group, I can just do a group call again, and this will start a group call with both Ellen and Eugene in this call, right? So that's basically a capability of one-to-one chat or a one-to-many chat. One-to-one video or a one-to-many video as well can be done from within the web interface of the Zimbra web client. Now, let's take up a scenario where if I had to be working on a document with the three of us, with Ellen and Eugene. Just FYI, I am based out of New Delhi in India, while Ellen and Eugene are based out of Singapore. So if both of us, all the three of us have to be working on a same document, in this world where we cannot travel, I can just go to Zimbra Drive. I will create a new, for example, a spreadsheet, and I say, I have created a Zimbra account, spreadsheet with Zimbra demo 18th August. I will share this file with give her the editor access. I will add Eugene as well. Now I could have shared this file even outside my domain. So I could have just clicked on this, saying that generate a public link. I could have protected this file as a password protected file as well, or just keep it internal. So once I open this file, the demo 18th August, I can actually see the three of us in this. So blue is Eugene, green is Ellen, and black is me, right? Right. We could have done, while we can, work on spreadsheets. I can save this spreadsheet, download this spreadsheet as a Microsoft spreadsheet format, or even as an open document format. Right? I can just close this file, go back to my OneDrive, Google Drive, go back to my Zimra Drive, while Ellen and Eugene can still be editing the same document. I can go back here, come back here, and see they are still editing this document. So really a true collaboration environment where the three of us are working on the same document at the same time, being geographically, in three different locations. Yeah. So basically, the idea here is Zimbra is allowing you to create an environment where your users can have data availability on any device, any platform, and at the same time have securely accessing your data, whether it is an accessing, whether using XMINE for encryption of emails, or even two-factor authentication for users. So I am pretty much done with my demo. Please feel free to key in your Q&As, questions in the Q&A box, and we'll try and answer them now.
Thank you, Piyush. We will now move on to QA. We do actually have quite a lot of questions that is coming in, so I'll pick a few. Let's see, on the chat box, so there's a couple of questions. Does Zimbra also have an integration with own cloud?
We have it with Next. You can develop a Zimlet with own cloud as well.
So next question is backup of email and data. Can you share some ideas?
So Zimbra is shipped with its native backup capability. So we have a real-time backup component, which is a built-in component which Zimbra allows you to do. Every email that comes in is backed up immediately. So you do not have to depend on third-party backup software or buy an additional license for the backup. It's an integrated component of the product itself. You can restore up to a single mailbox from within the admin client of the Zimbra admin client.
Thank you, Piyush. So another question is, do other users have to be in the same domain, or can we set up a group chat or meeting with people outside? So I assume this is referring to our Zimbra Connect.
You can invite external users as well. So you can have external users for Zimbra Connect. But
back to the backup question. So somebody wanted more information. So where is the backup going? Can the backup be sent to external location? Is there a failover server, backup server in the cloud? Is that possible?
So by default, the backup goes to /opt Zimbra backup. Yes, you can change the location to an external file location. It has to be a readable ext3, ext4 file system to write your backup to.
So we also have a question. This one will be for Wowrack. As a self-service SaaS, how do you deploy Zimbra Cloud Email?
So we, as a self-service, we have a control panel or a marketplace control panel where user can select their own mailboxes and the size of storage, right? And behind that, we use the Zimbra clusters environment to actually scale up and scale down in terms of what the customer needs by using our platform. So yeah, pretty much they can do more of we have a background processes that check on how many licenses they have. The storage wise is already predetermined in the beginning, and they can scale up and down as they need it based on their requirement, right? And on our side here is pretty much there's no contract, so it's a month-to-month pay-per-use contract. Pretty much they can, last long or last, or short-term usage, something like that.
Thank you, Pak Rudi. Question for Piyush, Zimbra roadmap for the next 5 years, how is it compared to Microsoft Exchange?
Yes. So today we can discuss the roadmap in an offline meeting as well. But yeah, broadly speaking, we do have almost all components that organizations need today, whether it is email, calendars, chat, video conferencing, document collaboration. So all of those components are today built into the product itself. And we are going to enhance more and more on these features. So now we also have the Zimbra desktop app, which will be live sometime next week. We have the new Zimbra mobile app that's available for Android and iOS. And there are many other enhancements that will keep on coming due course.
Thank you. So we do have a lot of questions coming in. So many of these questions are repeating itself. So let me just quickly go through it again. Will there still be a Zimbra desktop client version?
Yes, the new Zimbra desktop client is due to release sometime end of next month. As of now, yeah. So that's its plan, and yes, there will be an offline client from Zimbra.
Another question is, can we add more than one domain and provide control panel rights to based on other domains?
Yes. So Zimbra natively provides delegation of administrative roles, so you can have any number of domains being hosted in the same environment, and you can create domain administrators to provide access to the respective customers.
So okay, thank you. I have questions. I have tried to build a Zimbra collab, but I have an issue on receiving bulk emails, more than 100 from specific emails, and the problem is it was stuck on message queue. How do I prevent this queue from receiving bulk emails on our environment?
Okay, so maybe that's a very specific question. Please drop us an email, and I will try and help you in that.
Yeah, I think we'll take it offline for that. This is from Bardi. Does Zimbra have antivirus, spam configuration, and maintenance features in addition to the mail server service?
Yeah, so we do ship with maybe Spam SSN, but I would still recommend using a commercially supported third-party email security. The component that we ship with the product are maybe Spam SSN, but I would recommend using a commercially supported one.
One more question. Can we do integration single sign-on with ADFS on-premise?
Yes. On-premise as in, and you want to have your Zimbra on cloud. If your Zimbra is on cloud from a service provider partner like a BSP partner, you will have to work with your BSP partner to see what configuration that could be done. Technically, yes, you can have integrations of Zimbra with the Active Directory, but operationally, how does your BSP provider does it is something that you'll have to discuss it with him.
So I will pick one final question, and then I would like to invite Gautam to do a quick closing. So I think for the final question of the day, let me pick one for Wowrack. So there is a company that says that they are a startup in courier service and transportation industry. What kind of Zimbra services that that might fit them from PT Wowrack?
Sorry, can you repeat that, sorry? I didn't get the first part.
As a startup in a courier service and transportation industry, what kind of Zimbra services that you will recommend?
Oh, Zimbra services. Okay.
Yeah.
I think as a startup, I think it's a good way to be able to use it as a collaboration method, right? So I think you can link a lot of things with Zimbra collaboration suite. You can start small and grow as you need it, right? And especially with Zimbra, you can link to Slack. I think many startups are using Slack to communicate or integrate stuff, project management as well, and or sharing documents too. So I think those are the it's a good way to start if you don't have any collaboration suite in place right now, especially when you're a startup. You have to kind of tie pretty much tie your belly, right? So don't spend too much on things that not really can push the startup products itself, right? So please do so. Use the Zimbra collaboration suite. I think those we have a lot of startup as well that has maybe only like 5 or 10 users. They use the Zimbra collaboration suite to pretty much for their day-to-day work, basically.
Thank you, Pak Rudy. All right, so we have 4 minutes until 2:30 or 3:30 at some places. So why don't I pass it on to Gautam? We actually have Gautam Ramachandran. He's the director of our global channel as well as our global pre-sales team. So he'll do a quick closing.
Thank you, Serene. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
All right. Thank you all for joining this webinar series. It was a very interesting session, a lot of question answers. And I also want to say special thanks to Pak Rudy for sharing all of his experience with Wowrack on the challenges and insights in today's hybrid workplace. And if you think about it, collaboration, as we saw the different scenarios, means more on what you're actually working and collaborating on, rather than how you're actually doing the communication. So this trend of rethinking collaboration is becoming very critical as more and more companies are keeping work from home in place. Like Pak Rudy shared the analysis from McKinsey, there's also a lot of similar data from other analysts that show that the IT spend on digital transformation is increasing, and more than 30% of the workforce will be remote by end of this year. So once again, thank you all for joining the session. So Zimbra Collaboration is a great solution that can help add value to your workplace. So please reach out to the sales team or to Piyush. I dropped his email in the question answer box, so we can talk more on the programs and products available to help address your needs. Thank you.
Thank you, Gautam, for the recap. So for all the questions that we did not answer, we will attend to you. Piyush, either Piyush or the sales team or PT Wowrack will actually reach out to you and answer your questions. So thank you to all the speakers and all the attendees for spending the afternoon with us. And stay safe and have a wonderful day. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.